a little too analytical with this, but truly take that trailer and take anything. Well, you might not even need the trailer. You know, you could have somebody playing Ganachi really well or whatnot, but literally take everything he does and then look at what Duck King's move list has looked like. Duck King could still very well pop up in this game and it would be okay.
Yes, it will. Ducky and Ganache to play nothing alike.
Yeah, like
Nothing alike.
just
The
because he
only thing I
got
comment is that the whole dance vibe, which is
yeah
that's not something only one character gets to have.
yeah
So outside that, Ganache and Ducky play nothing. Even from the first people like, oh my god, Ganache is too much. Like even I was on the people like, damn, why can't we just got Duck King? But you look at
yeah
Ganache, Ganache plays nothing like Duck King.
yeah,
Nothing.
and it's like
Like Duck King, you could pull Duck King. Duck King could be pull his whole King of Fighters 11 moveset,
mm-hmm,
put it into City of the Wolves, and him and Ganache would not even clash in terms of his play style.
they sure wouldn't. And then on top of that, like again, I don't really think, and this was like a problem that I had with King of Fighters 15. But it's like I don't think, as a matter of fact, you look at like even the City of the Wolves roster or whatnot. I don't know if I want to say in terms of just Fatal Fury in general, but it's like I don't think we had a character that's like this kind of out there and weird and everything like he is. You got him like swimming
Nope.
through
The
the
last
air.
time we had was Xanadu. And
Well, he
Sylvie,
well
Sylvie was
he
kind of
wasn't in
orthodox,
Fatal.
but they toned her down in
he
15.
wasn't in Fatal Fury, but just I'm trying to imagine that freaking Xana doing freaking Fatal Fury. Oh
But that'd be so
god.
funny.
Oh god.
That'd be so funny.
Oh my god.
But that
Like,
would make people
please,
really mad
please,
too,
please,
though. That
please,
would make people really mad.
please don't do that. That's okay. Please don't.
No,
Like,
don't do that, SK. Don't. But I
cause
would
I
say
don't
one
know.
character that should be in City of the Wolves, and I was having a long time feeling this way, but I feel it this way. It would really help him, especially if he does continue to be the protagonist in the next KOF game. Shun'ei does need to be faded for City of the Wolves. I think it would help.
I know some people also thought that because then they also cited the quote from it was either Kuroki that said it or Oda that said it. That we're talking about him, Shun'ei, that is, him and Meitan Kun are more Fatal Fury characters in spirit. More so, of course, because their connections,
As soon as Tom for Wu.
and not
Yeah,
even
I
just,
remember that. I think that was
and not even just that, but like
Oda.
think, and not even just okay, it was Oda. Thank you. Not even just that, but like they're new school characters connected to a dude from an old school game, basically. Like they link these two new guys way back to like the freaking again Fatal Fury. That's like a big because think about it. In most cases, more so with KOF exclusive characters or original characters, that is, they were just building off of like that legacy and everything. You know what I'm saying? They made
Hmm.
Kyo, and then of course we got his clones and everything, and like all these other people using like pyrokinesis and everything. Everything was building off of like King of Fighters then. Like for instance, like I said, you had Kyo at first, like far as protagonist. K Dash pretty much built off of him. Ash, I guess, was somewhat unique to be honest. Like, yeah, he was a pyro user, but like, I don't think
He
like,
was an anomaly. Ash was like a lot outside the box. Remember, he was one of the more controversial
yeah,
protagonists in a fighting game in general to this day.
like that was like, yeah, with Shun'ei, this is the first time you got somebody with a link going all the way back to like the old school with freaking SNK. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And maybe that might have been like another issue with him because it's like you got old school connections if you are, you know, hardcore into like the story and connections and stuff with SNK and all that. But design wise, who were they trying to get? The young people. And of course also the
Hmm.
female audience, of course, if you were to believe Kuroki, I think that said that. Because Kuroki was
Yeah,
hoping
I
that
think someone mentioned like
and
the
you know
artist
what?
was trying to make it about.
And you know what? He, from what I saw, because like and I'm glad that people didn't look at that as like something underhanded. Because I was legitimately curious. Because like, I'm not a woman, so I can't speak on that. So I'm like, I just wonder, like, did Shun'ei draw you to this game? Some of them said he did. Some of them said no. Some of them they say they like Kyo more. Like,
I definitely think Shun'ei would benefit. I think, especially if he is now, he's not going to be the protagonist no more in the next saga. He's just going to be there. Fine. But I think this is, I know people may not agree with me. That's okay. I think it would benefit, it would behoove SK to bring in Shun'ei to City of the Wolves at some point.
yeah,
Don't have
because
to be romantical, but there's Shun'ei
he has
just to
links.
help him out more.
He has the links. I mean, why not? He has the links. Like it ain't like you're just throwing in a KOF character for a giggle. It's like he has actual connections with the old school. So question for you, Onyx. Could you? And we just
Go ahead.
we were talking about KOF there. Could you see Vox or Preacher being in KOF 16?
I think Preacher and Vox to be KF60, but if I had to pick one, Preacher definitely. Cause some people have this idea, which I'm not against it. It makes sense because it's like a protege team. Even though I do want SK to follow up on that alleged team between Terry, Bone Jenny and Rock Howard. People want to see Hako Tomorrow, Rock, and Preacher as a team in 16. I'm not against that.
Nope.
But and while I like and I said I definitely like Box. I'd like to see Box. I think Box actually feels more like a KF character. You know, he's basically made for Fatal Fury. He's taking after Grant. Box definitely has more of a KF character vibe to me. That's just me. I definitely think they should be in the next KF game, the next mainline. Now 16 proves out to be a dream match. Honestly, it doesn't make sense to put them in. But 16 is either a new saga or continues Shun'ei's lackluster saga. Then yes, they should be in the next game.
Yeah. Oh, some people ain't go like that, but I mean, hey,
They can kiss my ass. They're not paying none of my bills.
you don't give a damn. Like, and see,
I really
and like
don't.
that's one thing I never understood. It's like if the next KOF game is continuing the story, and Shunei's not the main protagonist, like, again, he didn't die. Nothing happened to where I think he will be written off. I say this to say that KOF use like SNK when it comes to their protagonists or whatnot. SNK doesn't just drop them to the wayside. They keep them around. You know, whether they
They
got
do.
something for you or they don't. Because I mean,
Ash may be the only exception. Ash is the reason Ash's exception makes sense because he did perish by the end of 13. So how the hell can you have him in 14 right away? They had to do things to bring him back.
exactly, and you said it right there. Ash was actually utilized even in Death when he wasn't a playable character to actually further the story. You know what I'm saying? I don't think even if Shun'ei, cause I've seen people like, oh, I'll be so mad if like Shun'ei's not the main protagonist. I'm like, why can't they just do with him going around the world learning to fight? I'm like, he can have that story whether he's the guy or not.
Nah, and honestly, I think Shun'ei now, I think 15 outside of Otamaga being a
Otoma
person having a
who?
person have a fucking walk.
Otoma who?
Otama bitch. You know who she is. You know who mother is. The mother
Otoma
says
who?
nothing.
Mother.
Despite the fact that
Mother. I thought she was the
mother
goddess. I thought she was the goddess of truth, whatever that means.
she's
They
the
just dropped
mother.
that freaking character in and just blew her away. What the? Oh my god.
Homegirl had no personality, no dialogue, but yet she still served for a few seconds in the intro before you fight her.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. But anyways,
It's like he can
despite
still.
the fact,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
or despite the fact that 15 had a lackluster boss in the Tamawaga and reverse should have been playable, the game ended on a good note. Because obviously the canonical story is Team Shun'ei wins.
Right.
And he says it's like you look at how everything forms out between Team Rival story and Team Hero. That's the true ending. Shun'ei and his team won, and obviously things worked out. Isla wants to find Shun'ei. She might have a crush on him. Da 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 da. And so I feel like that's a good way to end it. And you can start a new saga because overall, what are you gonna keep doing? The Shun'ei saga, the New Age saga, whatever. Outside of bringing back fan favorites. It did not. It was like the worst story SK told in a long time. It really was. So I think they should drop it and like obviously keep Shun'ei around. You kept Kyo around. You kept Kate Ash around. You brought back Ash. Don't get rid of Shun'ei. I like Shun'ei just not as a protagonist.
He'll be around. He'll be around. Like I said.
He'll be around. They're not gonna ditch Shun'ei. Anyone thinks Shun'ei is never gonna see another KF game again? They're joking themselves.
Like, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it.
Shun'ei has a better chance of returning than Zarina. Shun'ei has a better chance of returning than freaking Xanadu, Shangfei, not Lin. We're gonna keep it real.
Xanadu
does.
is still out there in them freaking sand, whatever the heck, still talking to the fire. Apparently,
Yep,
I'm guessing.
Troy and Chain up his ass. They saw her like this motherfucker crazy. We gotta get out of here. Let's go back to Kim.
And look at that. It's like, see, doesn't that seem more like writing off a character than what happened to Shun'ei? Like, again, the only two people that Xanadu had a link to, as you just mentioned, Chang and Choi, they pretty much ran away from him, had buyer's remorse, and freaking went back to Kim. They're right. Even though like they weren't, I guess, center or whatnot, we saw them there in that ending. We saw them. We even saw Gongil there. Xanadu's left all alone. Like, unless Xanadu comes like with some freaky cult members or whatever, which I'd be all for that. I don't think that man is coming back. SNK
Nope.
themselves
But
even
SK,
admitted.
at least if they don't bring back Xanadu, they need to bring in Lady Xanadu. Bring out a hot but crazy bitch. You know how people love hot crazy bitches in video games.
Yeah,
But
that character might actually end up being pretty interesting. But it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like they wrote him off. I don't think that guy is ever. I'll be shocked if that guy ever comes back.
I'll be shocked too. Honestly, I
Shun'ei,
think Xanadu is like a one and done. I hate to say, but I think Xanadu is one. At an order, like Nelson will come back at some point. Banderas, Zarina, whatever. They'll come back at some point.
yeah,
Hopefully sooner than later. But Xanadu, I think that's it. I think
yeah.
14 is the first and the last.
SNK themselves even admitted that he was like a staff favorite, and even they admitted like the ones that the staff tend to like, the fans don't seem to like him. So I think they knew the writing was on the wall, man. They knew it. They had to have. They had to. So I'm just like, that's just to say, take that versus Shun'ei. What happened with Shun'ei? He's able to take the headphones off, got himself a little girlfriend, potentially. His bestie is still there with him. He's coming back. He's coming back. But like, what about him traveling around? He can still do it.
Do that.
That's the
Let's stop
magic.
it. That's his story. And his came up. Him traveling the world is perfect because Issa's looking for him. She's also going to go to China and meet Tung Fu Wu. He ain't going to be there. Tung Fu's like, look, him and Mexico decided to travel the world. It's like, well, shit, Amanda. Me and you got to travel the world, go find Shun'ei. And guess what? She bumps into Shun'ei just right in time for the next KO tournament. Her, Mexico, and Shun'ei team up and form whatever they're going to form. Because they won't be Team Hero unless the game continues following Shun'ei Saga, which it should not.
Yeah, and it's like pretty much everybody else is kind of going. Everybody else involved with those teams, they kind of basically just went back to, I guess, their respective places or whatnot. Hydern is still Hydern. Benny Maru, of course, was the veteran trying to carry the youngins. And then, of course, Dolores found her son. So there's that. But, like, yeah, there's no worrying about Shun'ei. He will be back.
Shun'ei would be back.
He
I'd
will
be
be.
shocked. I
He
think
will
I'd
be
be
back.
not in a good way either if he's not back. Because Shun'ei is still a protagonist, and I think, like I said, I feel like, especially if they do end the saga, he should appear in City of the Wolves at some point as a playbook character, not as a cameo. Playbook character. You can make time for Cristiano. You could definitely make time to build up Shun'ei's model, and make
Yeah.
him playable. But
Yeah.
and that's my personal opinion. But I do not think they should continue the Shun'ei saga. But he's definitely going to stick around. They're not because they keep Kyo, they kept Kate Ash, they got Ash back. They're not going to just Shun'ei somewhere in some corner where they got Momoko and Xanadu fighting for a cameo spot in the next KO game.